Hello students, in this video we'll be finding the volumes of cylinders. The volume of cylinder formula is the same as volume of the prisms. You can see here the base area times, I'll change this to capital H because in last video we used the height as capital H. And why this formula becomes V equals pi r square times H, because you can see here the base both of the bases are circular, so we find the area of the base, which is going to be the area of the circle, and formula for the area of the circle is pi r squared. So that's why this b will be replaced. This b is going to be replaced by pi r squared, so our formula will be v equals pi r squared times h, capital H. So I'm going to be using this formula for the volume of the cylinder. Okay, our first example is find the volume of the cylinder round to the nearest tenth. So in this case we have the radius and we have the height. So this one is our r and this is our capital H. So volume is V equals, in my first example I will be writing the volume in general formula, the general formula for the volume, which is V is equal to B times H. So base, what is going to be our base? Base is a circle, so base is the area of the circle is pi r squared. So that's why our formula here will become, if I replace the b, the formula for the b here, it's going to be pi r squared times h. Okay, so for the volume of the cylinder we need the radius and height only, and we can find the volume. Let's substitute. Pi times r is 2 and squared, you can see here, times h is 18, and now you can use the calculator. The answer on the calculator is 226.194, but the answer needs to be rounded to the nearest tenth. So our tenth here is, the 10th digit is 1, and our 100th is 9, so we add 1 to this. So the answer is going to be, final answer is going to be 226.2, and since it's a volume, so centimeter cube, that is going to be the answer. Okay, our next example is, you can see this one is an oblique prism, oblique cylinder. Okay, so for oblique cylinder, we, in our last video we saw that oblique has always, the height is always outside this. Okay, so our height here is 5 inches, which is outside the cylinder, and radius is 3. So I start with the formula without b and h. The formula for the cylinder is pi r squared times h, pi into r is 3 squared times h is 5. So the answer will be 141.371. Okay, and when you round it to the nearest tenth, it will be 141.4 inches cube. Okay, our last example, find the volume of the cylinder. Okay, so let's start with the formula. Write the formula. Formula for the volume is equals to pi r squared times h. Okay, we have radius. Actually, we don't have a radius here. Here we have the diameter of the circle. So you know that if you are given diameter, you can find the radius by dividing it with 2. So r is equal to d over 2. Our diameter is 7. 7 divided by 2 is going to be 3.5. Okay, so 3.5 feet will be our radius. So I'm going to be using this value for the radius. So pi times 3.5 square. Okay, now here we have a problem. The problem is that we are not given height. Can you see the height of the cylinder is right here. We don't know what is the length of this height. Okay, but we can use some trick here. If you can see that diameter for this is 7, so this length will also be 7. Okay, and this length, which is, you can see the diagonal, that is 25. Can you see it forms a right angle triangle? So using the Pythagorean theorem, we can find a missing leg if you are given hypotenuse side and the other leg. Okay, so we can use the formula to find the height by taking it as a leg of the right angle triangle. So the formula for the Pythagorean theorem is c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. C is 25, so 25 squared equals to a is this h, so h squared plus 7 squared. Okay, solving for h, we get h squared equals to 25 squared is 625 minus 49. Okay, and then just make some space here, and then h, when you take square root of both sides, you can use the calculator and find what is 625 minus 49. So when you take the square root of both sides, h is going to be equals to 24. So this height is equal to 24 feet. Okay, so you have to just do this extra working before we use the volume formula. Okay, now go back to the volume. So we know that our h is 24. Use it and use the calculator. Your answer will be 9v equals to 923.628, but when you round it to the nearest tenth, it will be 923.6 feet cube. Okay, that is the volume.